All right, loading in really slowly because we've got the largest track and we've got 8 different cars, so it takes a bit to load up everything getting in here. But we've got a 2-hour race ahead of us, and we're in the GT4 class, and pretty much still guessing on where I'm going for most of the part. So we're going to be slow, definitely not pushing it, and slowing down for corners that we shouldn't be slowing down for. But the goal, finish the 2 hours, because it's been a while since I've finished a road course race. This week has not been good on road with NASCAR and Formula One. But hopefully we can get this 2 hours in the books and enjoy a nice little drive through the mountains. So we'll see how it goes. Hoping that we'll be starting at the back. Qualifying was a separate session before the race, so anyone that wanted to qualify, they should have a lap in if they got one in. And I think right now my optimal best is about a 9-minute, 17-second lap. So finish the 2 hours, don't get beat by any of the touring cars. That's where we're at. So almost loaded in here. And 100% means not quite there yet. Maybe the game froze. There we go. So we're in the McLaren just because I can handle it. We're the number 3 car. There's 40 total cars, but only 22 in our class. And we will be gridding up 5th. That is not where I want to be. That is not at all where I want to be. Did no one qualify at this level? No, it looks like the 19 did. Yeah. All right. Maybe. Well, we've got some sub 1000s in our split. Got a 400 I-rated guy in the touring cars down here. So this could be very interesting. Now, we shouldn't get around to the lap cars all that quickly. I've just taken the sprint and upped the fuel level. That's all I've done. And we're not going to worry about it too much. Just the setup is not the issue. It's the driver not knowing where the hell he's going is going to be the issue. So I've got some markers and everything. Hey, James is in here. That's awesome. So James is, where the hell is he? He is the number 32, and he's got a 1000 IR. But yeah, it split good enough to have everyone. So we've got 1800, 1700, and then it's got 1700 down, no, 1200. So there was a big drop off somewhere, and instead of us getting around 1700s in our class, we're getting a lower, but that's probably better. Then we're not going to have faster guys in the TCRs. Hopefully not have to deal with too many issues. I mean, lap traffic should not come into play until very late in the race. But, yeah, let's show off my car. which is a different looking paint scheme than what we've had in the GT4 class. Kind of a gold, chrome, red, and white, and black. It's, yeah, does what it's supposed to, and hopefully I won't scratch it up. But we will see. In practice before the race, I started hitting curbs on entry, which was then just shoving the nose. We've got a 1 minute grid time. That's good. But yeah, we are starting fourth. So, or fifth. I don't know what I just said there, but.
One lap to green. Line up on the right side. Closed. Pit road is closed.
We're going to be taking tires on the pit stops. I did a little test, and for a full tank of fuel, it's the same time to get tires. It's a really slow process all around. Now, if we're not going to take a full tank, I don't even know if we can do a one stop. I think we're looking at like a 50-minute stint, but we will see. It's saying that I can do 7 laps, but I'm very doubtful about that. Might be able to get 6 laps, which would be right around halfway. And it looks like now we are starting fourth at third place. Did not show up. So rolling starts. First corner is a bit tricky. All going to be really interesting to see who decides to try to win it into turn 1. And then when we get on the mountain, I'm calling it on the mountain, through the mountains. It's not just one single one. Then I'm going to be slowing down where people aren't expecting it, and that's what scares me. So, luckily there's brake lights, except for the McLaren's. Fairly difficult to see the brake lights. Frames are not enjoying things right now. Pace car is going to be going in.
About to go green.
We are going.
Catch up, 19 car. Post car is off, time to do your job. Green, green, green.
2-hour race. We don't need to try to be a hero here. Hopefully everyone is smart and smooth. This corner is tricky, especially if anyone tries to go too wide through it. So far, it looks like everyone's wanting to race for 2 hours, so that's a positive. But now is where my underdriving is going to get me in trouble. Might get some people getting really close to us. But this is the easy part of the track. This I've done many laps on. It's once we get outside the Grand Prix that things get tricky. Just let it go.
Still there. Clear.
Head past his car, not paying attention to him. But yeah, the people that know this track, that can hit every inch that they're supposed to, they're gonna come flying up on us. I'm really slow through here, much slower than I could be, just because I'm not confident in how quick I can take it. Now we're out in the wilderness. try to pass us. I was gonna let him go, but then he started backing off there. So the first part of this track I know somewhat okay, just because it's very easy to learn it as you constantly crash and do it over and over. But the back half of the track is where I struggle. And I still struggle through a lot of this part, but this is not the place to pass, especially since my car is very light through there. We'll let him have the outside.
Car right. Keep to the left. Clear on the right. Car right.
Get him past us before we get to any part we need to slow down into. And yeah, since no one qualified, we're going to be going backwards. But again, the goal is, I don't care if I finish last in class. I'm trying to make it 2 hours. And when my race brain starts, I'm going to start forgetting where I'm at on track. And we're going to get ourselves in trouble. And luckily, he was far ahead of us. He forgot where he was on track and way overdrove that. So 3 minutes and 40 seconds in, that guy ends his race. Luckily, it didn't look like he took anyone else out. One of the things that I go by is red and white walls mean that you need to slow down. Now I'm probably going to be slowing down too much for him, but there's going to be parts like that where I don't go through as hard as I can. Parts like this where I get a little scared. Then we're going to go into a hard left-hander here. And push off wide and give ourselves first 1X, and luckily didn't put it in the wall. That I've never done. Alright, we're just gonna let everyone go. No point in trying to fight off those guys. We just need to settle down. I was ahead of where I really should be. Our goal now, stay ahead of the 25 that's behind us. And not get caught up in anyone else's mess. Alright, we're at 11, which means crank it up to 11. Just flat-footed all the way through all this. Fifth gear, just stay in it because you're climbing a hill. Although we do have draft. We're going to lift off just in case. There's some people going side by side. One nearly got shoved off. Nice pile of cars here. It will get sorted, but I definitely don't need to be racing anyone at this point when I'm very unsure of where the track goes. I'm just disappointed that we had that big of a screw up. Touring car is catching up with us. He's got a 20-second lead, so hopefully he is not an idiot and doesn't try to pass us. I'm just trying to not run into the people in front of me for a moment. It around here because I'm really lost on where I'm at. car is pushing wide, as it always does there, and I normally get a 1X there. I hate that corner. It's the only corner that I can never remember it's coming up. Even when I'm like 3/4 of the way through it, and then once I go off track, I'm like, oh, yeah, that corner. And we got someone wrecking off the jump, and another one wrecking off the jump. My car almost tried to wreck off of it. It was a very odd feeling that I hadn't felt before. Kind of looked like all the McLarens were having issues. I think it was both McLarens. Lost. Don't know what's coming ahead. And we got one off the track. And now we're at the final carousel, which in every other car with a lot of downforce, you can go pretty much flat out from here. These heavy on fuel, I have issues getting around going flat out, but then onto the long straightaway, just out of draft range. But lots of people off there on the first lap. We are closing in on 10 minutes into the race. Little lag up the hill. Go down. Gain some speed. We're not gonna push it crazy hard through here because the car is being really unsettled for some reason, more than it ever has. We do a lap, sadly with a 1X.
9 minutes, 33.704.
But now that things have spread out in front of us, we'll see if we have any speed compared to the people that were around. We're in 13th, so already only 14 cars really left in this one. And from what I've seen, it's all been single car incidents. Wide there. Now at 25 incidents, they are DQing people in this race because, again, there's no consistency whatsoever in the rules that they make up for each series. Grand Prix and IndyCar, you can get drive-thrus, but Endurance, apparently, you just get DQ'd. Guy behind had another issue. That puts touring car between me and him. Again, going way too slow through that, but we are where I want to be, ahead of touring cars and still driving. Then about 4 or 5 laps in, we're gonna start having issues with brain fade, where mentally I just start checking out, which is fine on ovals. It's very easy to drive on ovals if you're not in a hard race. You can just mentally check out, but when I do that on a road course, things go bad. Alright, let's pull up all-time best lap. We'll just go off of that for a moment until we set something decent with session best lap. Still gonna lift off here.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
Down the hill. Now you can take this first bit left-hander fairly quick. Again, not worth it for me. I don't need to put myself on the edge. I mean, we're going to end up with the top 10 out of this just by not wrecking. Wrecking began last time. Stay wide there for this little chicane. Guy ahead checking out, touring car closing back in. I am all by myself and perfectly happy with that. Have a nice little stroll for 2 hours. Formula 1 race was awesome today. Slowed down for a corner that I didn't really need to slow down for. But yeah, the F1 race was awesome. It is actually cool to see them be able to race, and almost makes you... DRS is still needed. Just to help the car by, but I think they need to rethink the activation. And once you're in the DRS zone, if you're within a second, you can activate it. So then if you get past, you can activate it. Having that strict right here at this point line, you know, was causing some issues, and kind of made some very dumb strategic moves that people were having to do. So I think they need to rethink that and make it, here's the DRS zone. When you reach it, if you're in a second, hit the button. If you get past, hit the button. Just my thoughts. Alright, we should stretch our legs out here, hopefully get away from the touring car just a bit. Still too chicken to take that full throttle, although I know I can in other cars. Not worth the risk. Probably take that full throttle, but again, not worth the risk. Red and white walls, slow down. Into the first carousel. Almost jumped out of it. Out of this, we should take the first left-right fairly quick. The second left-right, though, is one that you gotta slow down. Alright, so it's not a left-right, it's just a left. Slow down again for a corner that I didn't need to. That is gonna continue to happen. Wide, almost a 1X again there. Okay, I think I've spotted something that'll help me remember that corner, because it looks like there was a light post on the inside. Touring car still on my tail. All I want to do is not get beat by the slower class. But if they can go longer than us on fuel, we very well might end up getting beat. shit, nearly hit the grass on exit there. Lost. Couldn't figure out where the hell I was on track and what was coming up next. Slowing down too much for this. Could use the delta bar to help me out, but yeah, he gained a bunch there. This guy knows the track behind us. Alright, let's pull away from him again. Guy in front, they've all checked out. They're little dots in the distance. We are now closing in on 20 minutes. We should be able to go 4 more laps. So that could get us to halfway. So many cars in the pits. So much. Wish this track used the whole bit to the right there. Alright, so we're running about 4-5 seconds slower than I should be. Should be able to gain a bit more speed, get away from this touring car. But yeah, we started out with a lot of cars around us, and now it feels like I am just practicing. We'll see though, 11.5 seconds ahead, we're in 12th. Maybe our slow pace will help us be able to not have to pit a lap earlier, because pitting a lap earlier is 10-minute difference on a pit stop. And could really screw things up for you, because pitting twice here, even for a splash and go, is going to be bad. We'll keep an eye on the distance ahead, 11.5 seconds. Try to get a bit back here. The leader has gotten passed by 13th place. That's opened up a bit of a gap for staying ahead of the touring cars. Take that a lot quicker. It's not worth it though. Lost a second. About 2 seconds off the fastest pace I can do, but pace I can do in practice differs massively from what I feel comfortable when a reset is available and not wrecking out of the race. So it looks like the guy behind's much quicker than us through this section. So he'll probably catch us. And decided it wanted to kick out for some reason. Slow down for this corner again, and I don't need to. And the guy behind us has wrecked. And it looks like he is also wrecked with the leader of the touring cars. And now we've got a 40-second gap to the leader of the touring cars. Pay attention, figure out where the hell I'm at on track. Don't need to look at the F3 anymore. I actually just turn that off. I'm just gonna drive. 11, rank it up to 11. I could go full throttle through there, but I can't get myself to do it in a race. Can't do it. Probably can go around that a lot quicker. Up to the carousel. Tried to dive it in later there. Pop out earlier. Sometimes it does want to kick out though. Now, we got a flat out left, then we're into the left right that we gotta slow down for. Probably don't need to slow down all that much for it in a GT4, but 15 and light post. Nope, that is not the right light post. Now it's the light post. Yes, yes. Alright, we're learning. Second light post after 15. Should have the jump coming up. No. Yes. All right. I am learning. Almost a little wide again there. But we can move fast through this part after the jump. Again. And again. But again, we're learning on the fly. Second carousel. Way too slow through that. lift off, get on, and lift off again just a bit, and then pull it around here 15.5 seconds ahead according to Racelabs, and a minute behind us for the touring cars. Fuel-wise, we're looking kind of scary now. I need to be a little better on fuel. I think we were way too much in the RPMs there, so we're going to do a bit of fuel saving this lap. Otherwise, we're going to have to pit a lap early and we won't be able to make it a one-stop. Yeah, that was the most fuel that we used so far this race. So, let's focus on that. Try not to be in the high RPM range. Did a 21 that time. It's been fun though, just trying not to die. Tried to just save fuel through there rather than slowing down too much. Got through it a little bit quicker. A lot of coasting here. It's mainly because right now at the line we're going to be running out of fuel, and I definitely do not want to be running out of fuel on pit road, because if I miss the pit stall, we're out of the race. So trying to gain about 2-3 of a gallon just to make sure that we can pit when we need to. We got nothing to gain, nothing to lose. But I feel like if we can stretch it, it's going to gain us about 30 seconds having to go down pit road. So big lift off and coast here. Little points like that. We're going to lose a couple of seconds through this lap, probably 4 or 5, but that's going to gain us 26 seconds overall, not having to come down the pits and fuel up again. Did that really bad. So we've done 54 miles so far in this race. See that on the, I don't know if you can actually see it. I don't have time to look to see if the overlay is messing it up, but on the left side of the dash, I have trip total. Not gonna slow down too much for that this time. Still gonna be a chicken through there, hit, miss, hit, I think, or miss, hit, miss, or wreck, wreck, wreck. This place is fun, but it definitely, when you're this far away from everyone else, which usually happens to everywhere in the field, it definitely doesn't feel like racing, you know, like what you normally get, even with like road racing in lower classes, but it's still fun. It's a good challenge. Trying to go 2.5 hours or 2 hours without planting yourself in the wall. And it's going to help me kind of learn it more. It's one track that I haven't really focused on too hard to learn. That is why I've been lifting off there, and thank God we were able to slow it down. Holy shit, that almost ended our race. No need for that. There was absolutely no need for me to even try to push it through there. Whew, that was scary. That was so close to the edge. Drop down a little later there. We'll pop out earlier. We're at 14, that means first left-hander we can do full throttle. Take these a little harder. We're at 15. Don't need to slow down too much for this one. Next one, though, is the corner that I always forget about. No, it's not. Next one, we can go fast. It's this one. Keep it tight so we don't go off. Getting back into revving too much. To the jump. Gunned it through there, but was forgetting. We're starting to get to the brain fade. There'll be even dumber things happening, but do not want to throw this thing away because I've made it this far. Way too slow through that. Got someone who might have wrecked in our class about a minute ahead. Lost a bunch of time, but it could just be... No, he's on pit road. Lap 4, so it looks like he's going to do a 2-stopper. Now, it also depends on when we hit the end of the 2 hours. Like, where does the leader get the white flag? take a look at fuel usage here, because if we did not save enough, we're going to have to pit next time around. We saved fairly well there. Still need to continue to do it. We're in 11th now. I don't know if that guy wrecked or was just pitting. Looks like he's still in the pits, so that seems a little long for just a pit stop. No, 38 and a half minutes in.
Got about 2 laps of fuel left.
Next car ahead of us is 26 seconds ahead. Slowed down way too much for that, as always. Felt like I was gonna hit the wall. Yeah. It's gonna be tough to finish this one. Mental mistakes are happening. Also, it's getting hot as fuck in here. So I think during the pit stop I'm going to go turn on the AC because it got hotter out today than I thought it was going to. So the guy that was in the pits has come back out 43 seconds behind us, but he's got to pit again. It's gonna be interesting. Don't know how this is all gonna work. We may have to pit twice as well. Highly doubt I need tires, but it takes the same amount of time, so I don't, like, there's nothing to gain unless it's not working the same as it was working in practice, but I don't think that would be a thing, so we will find out. there like we did on lap 1. For no reason. I'm gonna almost wreck myself here. As I do more laps here, though, the track feels smaller and smaller now. As in, I get to the carousel way before it feels like I should be to it. Starting to learn each landmark. Lifted there even though I knew it. Trying to save fuel here, just keep it in 4th. So we are very close to the end of the lap and finding out if we can make it one more time or if we need to pit. This part I still don't have in my brain. Try to take this a little quicker than we have been. Feel like it might be quicker to just not take the banked part. .6 gallons of fuel. We need 3.8 to make it around. 4.5. Looks like everyone else has went around one more time, so we should be able to. Nope. 16 car on pit road in front of us. He can't make it another lap. Oh, we might not make it any more laps. Got confused. Not confused, but just overdrove the hell out of it. Alright, we got 4.2 seconds of fuel. 4.2 gallons of fuel. We need 3.7 to be able to make it.
You're in the top 10.
So we should be able to make it fine. Something happened in our class. A lot of people were just in the pits to get fuel. So we're going 1 lap extra compared to everyone else. But we're doing it very slowly, so... And now I'm driving off track. The guy that pit first, the 4 car, is still 40 seconds behind us. He hasn't really gained much back and still has to pit. Got 3.6 gallons of fuel. It should take us about 3.8 gallons to get around. Cutting it close for absolutely no reason, but gotta try to strategize something out of it since we have 0 pace. Almost at the 50-minute mark, so most likely gonna have to pit twice, but we'll make it a really short pit stop at the end. And we get our second 1X. Did do a 919 last time. Gallons even left. Oh, totally missed that. Not downshifting and engine braking like I normally do, and that is making me overdrive corners that I shouldn't be. Have everything set up. Fuel, we're taking full fuel. Really wide there for some reason. We can take this full throttle, but then we need to slow down. And then we'll be at 11. Alright. Nearly to halfway. Tires are all checked. .77 gallons left. Alright, so some have went an extra lap. Still not confident in this section. That's probably good, because I would have went off there had I tried to go any farther or harder. Way too slow through there. 1.15 gallons left. Nearly to the big straightaway. $1 gallon left. We're gonna have to make another stop, it looks like. But it was worth a try to stretch this out. You never know. Leaders might wreck and pile up and everything gets slowed down a bit. But since we're not even to halfway yet on time, still 4 minutes away, highly doubt that's gonna be anything possible.
Don't forget to pit this lap for more fuel.
Yeah. Alright. We have made it. Gotta find our pit stall. Oh yeah, it's way up front.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
We have made it to the first pit stop. Tires 87.94, 87.83. So we will definitely uncheck those for the next stop. Fuel. Right now we've got 7 gallons of fuel in it. They have changed the front tires now. Got 11 gallons of fuel in it. So we still got half a tank to go. They have changed almost all 4 tires, so it would be stupid to not take tires there, but on the next stop, we'll be taking less fuel.
Okay, punch it.
We are full. And we're gonna drive off track. Nearly did. Alright, I'm just happy that I made it to halfway, essentially. Looks like there's only 10 cars really left running in our class that haven't wrecked out so bad that they're behind me. Tire's a little cool, so get them up to temp. And not much else to say. Just one more hour. Probably 7 more laps. And we can only do 6 laps, so we'll get the fuel sorted out. Figure out how much we need to take. And try not to spin it out where we have not even got close to spinning. Don't need to try to go fast. Just need to go at a pace that I can handle. Wreck portion of this is going to be interesting. Don't know if we'll be able to watch it all or if it's going to be too many just things that aren't wrecks, but I mean, half the field got eliminated at the start, so it'll be interesting to see what happened with that, plus see how the touring car leader wrecked with that guy at the tail end of our class. Alright. Car's feeling quick. Don't need to set fast time. Just did not drive off the track like I almost did there. But don't need to really save fuel. Because there's no possible way we can do 7 laps, and that's how many laps we're going to have, because white flag is not going to get thrown at the end of lap 12. Now I'm slowing down for this corner, and I know we haven't seen another car for so long. we're in a race that had 40 cars start. That kind of happens when you have a 16-mile track. It's just nuts, though. That's definitely going to throw us completely to the left. Forgot about turning the AC on for during the pit stop. Not going to have time in the next pit stop. Definitely can feel the new tires. Cooler tires, I don't know. Or I'm just being more confident, which is not a good thing. Or no, I think the delta bar is off since this was a pit stop lap, so it's just going by sector. But it does feel like I've been doing some decent sectors here, so as I think we just went purple in that. And up the curb and catch it.
Slow down.
It nearly went around on us. Alright, no need for that. Not a need at all. We're not going to chase these people down. That scared me back into what I needed to be scared into and just drive within my limits. Don't need to worry about green or red delta bars. Kept seeing more and more green, thinking that I was on a hot lap, but we just came out of the pits, so there was no way that we were on a good lap. We were just setting sectors. But an hour, 6 minutes into this race, we are sitting in 10th. And we're sitting a minute ahead of the touring cars, so you can be happy about that. I know we should be much further ahead of them, but coming into this with the very little knowledge I have of the track, I just didn't want to be the guy getting beat by touring cars in a GT4. Shoot. Alright, so it's saying that we're going to need 8 more gallons of fuel. Now, the best way to have done this is start out on less fuel and only take what you need to do the run. But since we had no idea how far we were going to go, how far we could go, we started out on full fuel. So the people that are maybe pitting at lap 5 or even lap 4 may have been starting off with less fuel just not to be heavier, so that they can just optimize every stint. Climbing that curve because I'm hugging it so hard. All right. We've now went a total of 115 miles in this race. And 20 miles on this fuel tank. Got someone off pace up ahead of us. First time we're going to see another car in a while. Luckily, we should be catching him into a very slow section, so hopefully he finds a place to pull over. Ramping back up to speed, and just gotta play this safe because I have no idea where he's gonna go, and he's all over and just parked in the middle of this freaking track,
Clear on the right,
as chicken streakers normally do. That was a 400 I-rated guy. Thankfully, we didn't die. Should be far enough away from him that he can't blow any corners and kill us. Shit. That was excessive from me. Still underdriving that corner, but I think overdriving it would just push me wide and I would screw up. We've gained a bit on the 16. He must have had a moment. We've lost out a bit on the 4. Just climb the hill faster than we have ever. Don't really know the track all that well and need to stop pushing it so hard. Even though there's so much time to be gained because this is where we've been slowing down so much. Curb. That's where we went off last time. I'm driving so close to the inside. Alright. And I got very scared and confused there because I just noticed a light post that I hadn't seen before, and light post usually means slow down for me. Now we're just a damn mess again through this sector that I'm never going to remember. Need to uncheck my tires when we get onto the straightaway. Alright. Get set up for the last pit stop. At most we'll need 4 gallons, or at least we'll need 4 gallons. At most 8 gallons. It depends on when the white flag's given to the leaders. We got 44 minutes left in this one. Well, there's a 916. That is the fastest I have ever went around here. So, let's change that to session best so that we can base our laps off of that, because all-time doesn't update with the all-time lap, including the session you're in. That last time by we used 3.85 gallons, so even though we were driving a little harder, we didn't use up any more fuel than what we had been on our slower revvy laps. So 4 gallons is about the max that we can really use up, it looks like. Whoop. And second time we've got an X there. $50 seconds ahead to the next position. That's all going to come down to what they do on a pit stop. They pit on the end of lap 5. And then 13 seconds ahead, we've got 11th place in the touring cars. And 2 minutes behind, we have the leader of the touring cars. While I'm doing all that, I nearly missed that corner coming up. Shit. That is why I should slow down like I have been for that instead of trying to get more out of it. Thought, hey, this first section of this double left-hander I can get a little more out of. Always feels like I've been slowing down too much for it. Turns out, I might have been slowing down just enough. At least for my talents. This has been fun, though. I mean, we haven't raced a single freaking car out here, but this has been fun. I've enjoyed having something on the line while I do laps here. It's not very often that I think I've only done a couple of races here and was very underprepared. This I did a couple of laps just to kind of remember the sections that I sort of have in my brain. And now I'm picking up a few more things. So, it's been fun. Slower cars are obviously much better for me to go do laps with here. So we're going to catch this guy right about the carousel or thereafter. .500i rated guy. Hopefully he knows how to get out of the way. He doesn't just stop randomly. to be very careful here. Alright, he gets out of the way nicely. I'd say thank you, but I can't get to the keyboard right now. I'm so glad I've figured that corner out now. I'm probably taking it way too easy now, but it's better than driving off it every damn time. And every time now. Why am I doing that? Like last 3 laps, I would just, hey, let's go hit this curb on the inside that we don't need to touch. So that way we go way too wide and nearly go off track. Why am I doing that in that corner every time now? Bit too much there. We've got 12.2 gallons left. Four cars on pit road for his final pit stop. Wow. We really kicked some ass on that lap. It's like practice actually makes a difference. So we got 3 laps of fuel left. And we've got 34 minutes left in this race. So I think we're only going to need 1 lap of fuel. But we will be sure when we pit, because it's either we're not going to be getting the white flag or we are getting the white flag. We're not getting the white flag, then we need 8 gallons. We are getting the white flag, then we need 4 gallons. And now I'm overdriving everything. We've been underdriving it, but the goal from the beginning was finish the race, don't get beat by touring cars, and I can be happy with what we've done so far. We've picked up a little bit of speed, I haven't been in the way. I haven't done too many stupid mistakes. There was a couple of times where the car was about ready to kill us, but I'm happy with how it's went and have been having a lot of fun. We just need to make it another 4 laps. And then enjoy all the wrecks, and I'm sure we're going to see some stupid stuff. Get it to downshift, and then I didn't feel comfortable under braking. Way out of sync on that one. Try to get it all through there this time. Again. Caught the curb, just threw me left, and there's not a whole lot of room to the left. We survive it. I don't even know where the series goes after this, but it's definitely, this is going to be essentially the easiest race of them all because traffic has been a non-factor. But it's going to get kind of scary depending on where else we head. I assume we're going to be going to some longer tracks. Maybe we'll go to Le Mans, and I can learn how to drive that track. Let's just hope there's not a Lime Rock 2-hour. Bit late that time. Came out a bit early. Got confused. Should know by now that that's full throttle. This one I've been struggling with, kind of. don't hit the inside. But look at that, we gain a lot of time when we don't screw that corner up. Still getting way too inside there for some reason. Way too quick for absolutely no reason, but I'm seeing green. Hopefully I still slowed down for that, even though I didn't really need to as much as I did. Oh, did not need a downshift there. Our optimal's now a 911. $16 cars on pit road. We just pulled off a 913. Freaking worst corner on the track. But 16 cars back out right behind us. We're not going to be jumping over him. Unless he got the fuel wrong.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel left.
And, well, we're just going to randomly drive off track there. Haven't seen James. I think it's James, right? I'm getting confused with another viewer every time. I don't know if he is still in the race. Doesn't look like it. No, he's... Oh, I'm looking at my class. Some touring cars. He's still going. He's in 4th in his class. That's a good run. Slowing down way too much because I'm paying attention to other things. But I really have no reason to race this guy. When he catches me, we're just going to let him go. The only thing that could happen is him running into me because I'm slowing down for a corner that I shouldn't be. He's quicker. He's got us beat on strategy. And yeah, so there's just no reason for it.
Go left.
He lets us through nice and easy and does it off the racing line. Thank you to him. Again, can't type thank you because I can barely talk and drive here. Just kept it narrow that time. Looks like he has gotten around this lap traffic. And the 4 cars 30 seconds out in front of us. And we drive off there because the tires are a little less grippy now. The only other thing that could get us spots is people getting too many incidents. I very doubt that will happen, but it's just one other way. Someone gets to drive through and then gets sent to the tail end of the lap. I don't know what happens if, well, I guess there's only one drive through and then DQ at 25. I don't know what would happen here if you got enough to hit both drive-throughs. Would it make you drive through 2 laps in a row? Because most tracks, you don't really have a chance to rack up 7 or 8 incidents in a lap. Look at this, on the bits that we just pressed the gas down, we're just as quick as him. See? It's just the corners that are making us slow. Too much for that one that time. And again there. Brain is starting to check out. It's like, hey, race is about to end. I'm getting off early. Flat out through there. I don't know why I'm forgetting that now. I'm just getting so worried that I'm gonna think I'm in the wrong corner and screw up. Go. He thinks that we're actually in a race, but we're not. Yeah, it was just being nice. Oh no, 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 oh no. And that is why I shouldn't be pushing. Luckily, nothing bad happened. I think it's still gonna drive okay. That was the first big mistake. Yeah, it's not driving that okay. Let's see, we got 15 minutes left. That's gonna be possibly 3 laps. Yeah, we're gonna go to 14. Let's just go ahead, come in the pits, get our fuel, fix any damage that we can. I don't know, let's feel it out through these last few corners. It didn't feel like it was driving all that well. But it might just be all in my head. I think it's all in my head. Okay. Just keep on going. We got enough for another lap anyways. Then we can decide how much fuel we need. There was no reason for me to be pushing it there. But I did. Got the optimal down to 910. Not that that means anything. Maybe if I keep some pressure on this guy, he'll do something stupid. But more likely, I do something stupid, since we already have. Like there was an extra corner in there that wasn't there the last 11 laps. On me. All right. Nearly to the end. inside, which sent me out. He almost shoved himself out to the left. We've definitely picked up a ton of speed since our first few laps. Just much more comfortable with the track, where it's going. It's definitely a good 2-hour practice session. Question is, can I remember anything for the next time I get on the track? Oh, fuck, I can't even remember that we got that corner coming up. We were at 10, not 11. Spacing out. Starting to go away on me. Brain is checked out. Now we're at 11. Now we can go full throttle. I think we're going to be doing 2 more laps. As if the leader's pitting now, he's crossing the line, and that'll be 10 to go. Oh shit. Yes, please just stop in the middle of the track. That's very helpful. Alright, we're pitting this time, obviously. Feel better about my pace now that we've been running with this guy. But there's nothing we can do with this pace. Because we were so far behind. But the improvement from the start has been huge. That was almost bad. Alright, 7.9 gallons of fuel, no tires. Finish this thing.
Don't forget to pit for more fuel. Pit boxing 10. 5.
Don't know if either of these cars are going to be trying to pull out.
1.
Oh,
Right here.
start losing gas there. Yeah, we did. Let's go up to 8.2 gallons just to be safe.
Okay, go.
Alright, so we got nothing to gain. And in our class, there's only one other car on the lead lap, and they are nearly 4 minutes behind us. So, only thing that we can do is lose positions here. So, we just got to get around. It's 2 laps to go when we get in the white flag next time. And maybe someone will wreck out or incident out ahead of us. But a 9th place after pretty much dropping to the back, and I mean, we didn't pass anyone, we just didn't wreck. Well, I guess we did wreck, we just wrecked without really harming ourselves.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel.
There wasn't any damage that popped up, was there, on that pit stop? Maybe I just wasn't even looking at it. I was looking at my fuel. So yeah, we have no reason to set fast laps, and I'm going to try to prevent myself to doing so, especially since we're not on new tires. We don't need to try to go quicker. Our optimal's in 9:08 now. So we just got to get this thing around without wrecking, and if someone wrecks in front of us, if they wreck hard enough, we'll pass them. If they don't wreck hard enough, me pushing wasn't going to get us ahead of them anyways, so. Just, yeah, take a couple of victory laps for being able to make it. It's going to end up being a 2-hour and like 5, 6, 8 minute race, just especially as far back as we are. I have been happy with this race. I doubt it's been all that entertaining to watch unless you're just watching to see if I throw it away. But completely different style of racing here. It's more about survival. And we're gonna have quite a few wrecks to watch at the end, and I might just fill that up with ads since the 2-hour race, and I don't put ads in the race section while I'm in the car. Don't want to break that up. In between heat races and stuff like that, I'll throw ads in, but It annoys me while I'm watching real racing. It annoys me while I'm watching someone else race, and I don't want my videos to be annoying. Even though it would make more money, we're doing fine just how it is. Because I doubt a whole lot of people are going to watch the whole 2 hours and rather just skip ahead. But also today just hit 11,000 subscribers, so that is cool that we've hit that. I think that's about 1,000 people in a month and a half, 2 months since we hit 10,000. Or maybe, no, 10,000 was, I can't even remember when 10,000 was. Maybe 10,000 was before the end of the year. Anyways, we've hit 11,000 now. Really, subscriber count doesn't matter at this point. Like, we got to the monetize at 1,000. We got to the 10,000. Now, pretty much everything up until 100,000 is meaningless, other than it just helps the channel look bigger. So, really the biggest thing I'm concerned with is views per day, because that's where the money is. And right now, sitting at about 4,000 views every day. So, that's been staying steady, and then we get big jumps when new content comes out, or sometimes a video just randomly starts getting picked up and people want to, I don't know, it keeps getting hit on searches and people click on it. Like there's a random World of Outlaw late model race that has 35,000 views for absolutely no reason. It's not anything special. It's not at any track that was like having a big event. It's just constantly getting picked up by people searching World of Outlaws or something. It'll be interesting to see though what, you know, I think I've done 1 or 2 videos here, but it'll be interesting to see what the viewership is like for this track. Are people more interested to watch this? Because it gets raced a ton. I mean, when a series comes here, it's not dead. There's a lot of people running. So it'll be interesting to see if the views go up for this video compared to all the others. I mean, once someone realizes how bad I am, then they might click off, but it'll be interesting to see what happens at the other tracks on the schedule. It's going to be a lot more intense racing. But yeah, we're checked out now. We're just trying to get to the end without putting it in that wall again. Completely missed that. Tried to go through it a little harder and nearly found the wall. So yeah, there's a lot of things I could do to get faster. But practice sucks. And the best way I practice is by racing, but since I don't race this a bunch, obviously that hurts me. Now if this guy turns across the track and runs into us, I don't think he will, but just always waiting for it. Nearly drove off into the grass there. Should be getting white flag this time. If we don't get white flag this time, then I've really screwed up. We're at 2 hours. We've got to be getting the white flag.
5
There we
flags.
go.
That means one more lap to go.
So a 2 hour, and it's going to be like 10-minute race for us.
0.086.
But extra bit of safety rating for us. We're in 9th place. Oh no. Oh, I thought he wrecked ahead of us. We were gaining a bunch there, but it was just a section we were in. Probably shouldn't be looking at the relative while I'm going through turn 1. We see James up in 4th still, 55 seconds ahead of us. We've done 205 miles so far in this race.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
Yeah, all we need. All right. Final time through here. After 2 hours, and amazingly, this is only our 14th trip. Seconds ahead to the 16. He's not going to throw it away. Only way he's going to wreck is if a touring car gets in the way, and James is not going to do that. It's nearly over. 7 incidents is a bit higher than I want, but it could be worse. We could be wrecked. Looks like James is letting him by. In the grass. The corner has gotten trickier. Well, I don't know why we're lifting there. Like I said, brain fade. That just kept on sliding. Alright, we're at 10. That means things. We got one quick to the left, and then we got to slow down. Hit the damn curb for no reason. And now we're at 11, and stomp on it. Aggressive through there. No need for me to be pushing like I am. Here we are. Feeling a bit too comfortable. Push wide there for the first time. Wide there. Flat foot it for a bit. Lost a quarter of a second at least. Quickly down through here, don't hit the curb. Slow down here so we don't hit the wall. Into the final carousel. Almost spin it out. Down the straightaway. Might get ourselves into the 910s, maybe 909s. Unless this isn't tracking with our best lap. Yellow flag coming up. That's not what I want to see.
Don't forget to pit this lap for more fuel.
Oh man, we almost put it into the wall and into the car. Lose a quarter, 0.3, 0.4 seconds there. We have completed the race, and we get a 909 at the end, and our optimal down to a 905.
All right, there's the checkered flag. Nice.
So, we went from running 26s down to a 909 there at the end. I can be happy with that improvement. Would it have been good to start out that fast? Yeah, but just didn't work out. So, see if James ends up there. He does. And let's go back to the start 2 hours ago, if the computer can handle it, and check out what all went on. It's going to be a moment. Maybe. Still thinking. Oh, it's completely broke now. Come on, you can do it, computer. There we go. All right. Let's just roll it all the way back here, because you never know what has happened. And there is our first spin, and our first collision, and more collisions. Let's see what happened. So the dude self-spins, this guy self-spins, this poor guy gets it from both ends. We got James just getting ran over there. He's slowing down for the slow car there. And holy shit. I mean, this guy. Just plowing on through. On lap 1. Oh. Look who it is. And he finally wrecks. At least he got to damage someone else there. You gonna give up or get going? We'll find out. I'm not sure if he's still going. We'll see it again. And that is why I don't want to run front wheel drive here at this track. Or for 2 hours. And that is unfortunate. See, I can laugh because I didn't screw up as bad as these. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this is the guy that... Oh, he almost had a really bad one had he hooked that barrier beforehand. We got this guy who... Didn't we see this already? Okay, I guess he was just sitting there through that. He's finally going to try to get going. Oh, and he loses it under braking. Just not a fun car to drive on this track, I wouldn't think. Oh, gets a little help into the corner. And can't get it slowed down into the wall, and well, 26 joins him. Doesn't hit him though, so that's good by both of them. And then the one car spins on a blind corner, but it looks like only touring cars are behind. He's trying to get turned around. Is he gonna get high centered here? Nope, he gets going. Alright. Blinking. And the one car gets curved into the wall. Oh yeah, this is the people trying to full throttle it over the jump. He lands it, puts it in the wall. Then this guy hits the brakes as he's landing and does the same thing. And 2 McLarens off. We go on through. 12 just loops it there. And the one car starts turning right before he goes over the jump and gets the car sideways and lands in crunch. And not as big of a crunch as the 37 there. And the 12 for a spin. 34 grabs a little grass as he turns in, spins. At the 16, over the jump. Everyone is just trying a little too hard over that. 8 car. It is a much slower corner than what we take it at. Goes for a long spin. 24 gets loose up the curb into the wall. 17 blinks. 12 is heading off track. So he tried to go a little quicker through there. And wait, so alright, so this was the 12 behind us, and this is the leader of the touring cars. I for sure thought the 12 wrecked him. Or there was a move made. But instead, they both wreck at the same point. And yeah, the guy's got no one to blame but himself. There was just, I don't know how he did that. But they wrecked at the same point. He was either looking at the guy or just screwed up at the same point, but be a lot of those. Oh boy. Got a little loose into the carousel. Then went up out of it. 4 car into the wall, and that is why he probably pit early. And, well, the 8 was not ready for the touring car to be slowing down where he was. Yeah, he was like stopping to let him by, but that was the worst possible place to do so. And then he's off and into the wall. And the 40, that was a long, long slide. And the 5, just a little off sequence. 21 trying to get around the 40, who I think was already broke at that point, and then finds the tire wall, the edge of it, and sends some tires flying. 21 is going to clip the grass, eat the wall. Is his second big one. 34 is going to loose and catches a wall that just stops him instantly. 11's got a mirror falling off, and I think he's going to get it to come off. There he goes. 13's going to try to cut. Yeah, your co-driver saying don't cut. It's going, and I hear something behind him. Nope, it ain't turning. He's giving up, one of the two. Oh, that's too quick. He gives up. 39's still out here trying. Going the wrong way. Was the car in front of him stopped? Or was it just... Oh yeah, the car in front of him missed the corner. So a whole bunch of things happened there. So now 39 is trying to get going again. Now we're on the 37, who is going to loop it into 1. And here we are at 39. Still going? Or does he give up? Might have gave up. And the 38. Oh, this guy's back on track. Hey, this guy's hopefully off track now. 38 got lost. Haven't seen this guy yet, and looks like he has equipment failure. Bunch of cars on pit road now. We're seeing the 21 go around again. This time he doesn't nose it into a barrier. Is anyone coming up? No, he's got a ways. He's gone. But now the 10 over the jump, and that's the second time he's done that. A little harder this time. We got the 22. Trying to get all of it out of there. Big crunch. 27's gonna go wide. 36 comes out of the carousel too early. 35 into the grass and into the barriers. One car is still out there. He's had some time in the pits, but he definitely was ready to turn in before the track was. Got the 4 car again. He's fine. We're on lap 5. 6 is into the barriers. 37, he is stopping to sit on the track sideways and block a guy. What is happening here? Alright, finally gets out. 34 goes wide and spins and wall. 12 is going to mess up on the shift down. 40 turns the wrong way. 21 into the barrier. 36 and the 21 ahead of him, and the 36 hits the wall. That looks like it's a tough corner to get slowed down for with the change in direction for the front wheel drive guys. (16) in the carousel, blinking, and the 9. Don't think anything's gonna happen here. 34, curb, wall, wall. It keeps going. 40. Guys are definitely not dragging throttle with the brake and just getting loose. We got a blink out. We got the 22 again. He's gonna go spinning. And spinning. Nine goes in the grass. Taps the wall. 28. It's all thrown off on the jump. Locks it down. He's got a car coming around, but he's off in the dirt, so. Another car coming around. Everyone's fine. 24. Gonna go a little wide and into the wall. And into the wall. After seeing this, I'm surprised that I didn't screw up more. We're on lap 6, but that's this guy's lap 6. Oh, I think there was going to be some contact there, but... Try to get to something that we haven't seen. That's the 17 looping it. He's in second. Two car, going wide, hitting the wall. 8. In the wall. 28. Into the wall. 8. All over the place and into the wall. He's in 6th place, so I assume he still beats us. And the 4 going around. 12. Spin it out again. Blinking. 40 on the brakes, looping it. And the 17 blinking. The 9 way off sequence there. And the 27 going wide and into the wall. James, what'd you do? Oh, you found the white wall. 34. Up the curb, into the wall. No one's coming. 17's having more issues. Looks like the Porsche's just really loose. One car wrecking again. 40. This guy's back out going as slow as possible. I don't know what he's doing. Five spins it out. This guy is wrecked multiple times now, and we did end up beating him after that. 35, hard into the wall. Walls. 36 again. And still can't get that rear end to go in the direction he wants. 9 getting on the gas a little hard. Into the wall. He still beats us though. 36 is... I have no idea. Blinking. Sounds like the 36 is pushing the clutch in. 27 off and 27 in. Yeah, I think that one's done. 34. That is the guy that we almost hit. And that's the race. So, let's take a look at the results. And also see where this series is going. So I have no idea what the schedule is. So we gained 21 iRating. We get a safety rating 1.18 gain. 856 is the fast lap. Fuck that. No way I'm getting close to that. We get a 909. There were people that wrecked out that were quicker, but we finished. So the top split guys, they were doing 847s. Jesus. Nope. Not something I'll be able to do. So I don't even know what split we were in. 6, maybe 7. Maybe we were 6th. I don't know. I've lost it. Check. We were in 8th split. There we go. Total strength of field with the other class was a 1395. So. Oh, real quick, let's take a look at that schedule. And it's every other week. Oh my god, the next track is Summit Point. 2 hours there with 40 cars. That's going to be a whole different thing. Then Barber, full course, that's terrible. Winton, that's not going to be all that fun. That track sucks, and I can never figure it out, but we'll try to give it a go. Yeah, this schedule is pretty terrible for tracks, but we'll give it a shot. And, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.